So today I want to do kind of a tutorial-esque thing. I just want to show you guys how I design some of my stuff from scratch. It's really not that crazy. This is Onshape. If you guys haven't downloaded this, you really need to. It's completely free. It's open source. It saves all your projects in the cloud. And I love using it. It's very easy for beginners, which of course I am. So we're going to get into building the shelf today, and I'm going to walk you guys through kind of how I do that. Just some basics. If you use right click, you can pan around. If you use your scroll wheel, you can just move and pan that way. So let's go to the front here. Let's select the sketch tab up here, and then we want to select these different planes. You can select whatever you want, but to start, you have to select an actual plane here, and that will start your sketch. So now we're going to come up here. We have all kinds of tools. We're just going to keep it simple, rectangle. So you're just going to left click once. And once you have a basic shape, you're going to left click again. So we have this dimension tool, looks like this. We're going to select that and select an edge. So we're going to do 150 both ways. We're going to make this a square because it doesn't look like it, but this guy is pretty square. All we need to do is hit check and then come down to the sketch and select that. And then you're going to hit extrude. This turns it into an actual object once we hit the check mark, but we only need this to be about 5 millimeters thick. Now, if you don't want these other planes to show up, you can actually hide them. But if we're just wanting to look at our object here, it looks a little bit nicer. Okay. So now we have this. This is going to be like our platform that everything sits on. So let's take a look here. Like, how can we make this, an actual shelf? So we're going to need to sketch again. We can actually select our object face as a plane. We can go back to our rectangle tool. It helps you make sure that you're, there's a lot of handy little things that it does for you. It makes sure you know when you're on a line segment or a vertex, anything like that. So we're going to come over to our dimensions tool. We're going to grab this line segment here. We want that to be 5. So now we're going to hit check and we're going to select that sketch again and we're going to hit extrude. Let's go 75. Just 5 more. Why not, right? So you see that in real time adjusts the actual length of your extrusion. I know that 3D prints aren't heavy, but if you wanted to put anything of, a pound or so, this is only 5 mils thick. And whereas that's totally strong enough to hold something, it puts a lot of strain right here in this little joint. How can we fix that and make that a little bit stronger? Well, a little trick I like to do that's very easy is I select my line segment there and I click the fillet tool. You can do this by hand by just moving this backward and forward until you have something nice. This is good for rounding out edges or doing what I'm doing right now, which we are going to actually do 30. And what that's going to do, we're going to hit check. It's going to add all that material there. So this material is going to strengthen that joint for that downward pressure. Now, typically what a lot of people will do is what you'll see on shelves is they'll have kind of like a bar going from here to here. And that's great because all that pressure is now just put against the wall that it's screwed to. Now, I'm kind of going for a semi-floating shelf. I don't want those there. And this is an easy way to strengthen that joint where I believe it'll be fine for holding 3D prints. If you wanted this to be thicker, if you wanted anything to be adjusted, you simply come over and you double click. Let's split it down the middle. We got about 75. Let's call it 35 for the fillet here. And that looks nice. So now we got to find a way to actually attach this to a wall. So from here, where can we go? Well, we can click the top here. We need to add some holes, right, to put our screws in. So we're going to select this back face as a plane to sketch on. We're going to center point circle tool. And then see how it shows me where the center line is? Isn't that neat? We're just going to throw in a couple of holes here. These aren't the actual sizes. We're going to come to our dimension tool. We're going to select that. And we're going to go 5.5. I think that's more than enough for a screw to go in. So now my holes are on there. They're the same size. They're centered. But is that really where we want them? Because if we come and look over here, see, I'm going through all that thick plastic. And whereas I do want one of them there, I don't want both of them up high. So now we're using our dimension tool. Again, we're going to select the center point here, line segment here. And we're going to set, okay, now if I think that's still too high for this bottom one, I can just double click this here. Go to 20. Very nice. Now I can do the same thing here. Center point and line segment. Okay, I think this is a little too high. I think I'm going to go with like 50. Let's see how that looks. That's looking pretty good. So I think that 50, that's going to hold it really, really strong to the wall. Now we have holes, right? So what do? We finish that sketch by clicking the check mark. We select our sketch over here, and we hit extrude. You see how it's going to come off the face. That's the default. But if we select remove, it'll automatically switch it to the other direction and actually remove the material. So now you have holes, and you can hit your check mark. When you're making things like this, you need to keep in mind what tools you have to be able to actually attach these. A lot of tools are not going to be able to use a screw to attach this to a wall with it being so close to this base plate. So our object is going to sit up here. This is going to attach to the wall. Now, what is a problem here? Well, most screws like a power drill or anything like that can't reach past all this and screw that screw in. The only reason I'm getting away with this is because I do have the tools. All right, guys, yeah, we have our shelf made. We're going to print this now, and I hope you guys learned a little bit. Definitely get Onshape. It's completely free. And I hope you guys enjoyed kind of like a little tutorial video today.